Hello, everyone. How you doing this fine day? Welcome to Brad's Bad Show about games. My name is Brad, and I am not a billionaire hedge fund investor. And we will get to that in time. But let's jump right into the show today with something that has actually only been being talked about in the last day or so. For Fortnite, of course. We're starting Fortnite talk off, as always, or as most of the time. Uh, Almost immediately after the big reveal of the next crew member skin of V or Vi, I think it's Vi, is coming out. Donald Mustard changed his account setting to. Hold on, let me find it because I don't want to be wrong here. I want to get it right. Oh yeah, changed his account settings to and I think I would think it was his location setting to say, let me make sure I pronounce this right. Arashikage clan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Arashikage. So, for those of you who don't know, and I didn't, that is a reference to G.I. Joe, and I think specifically to certain characters, but it appears this is a sign that the character Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe will be coming to Fortnite next. And according to what I'm seeing today, this evening, as I'm sitting here recording this, it is 1:45 p.m. And information within the game has already suggested that this skin will be added to the item shop tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow night for sure. I figured it'll be tonight because yesterday they released another of Jonesy's reality logs with the code name Ninja Master. I think it was. I think that was the right one. So this clearly appears to be a sign that this character is coming. I'm kind of embarrassed for myself to have not thought about G.I. Joe as a potential, crossover for Fortnite, because that makes a lot of sense, especially when you think back to the spy games from earlier in this chapter, Shadow versus Ghost, which I really liked that, and I kind of hate that storyline has gone away. Hopefully it comes back, because even in the time period since then, there's been a character or two added to the factions, and I hope that, I think the character Abstract in the last season, which, the storyline is just that Shadow and Ghost are gone. They don't exist anymore. Although, at least they don't exist the way they did. Now, I'm convinced that there's some sort of war brewing between the imaginary order and the people within the Fortnite loop. And there's certain key characters that are going to be important. And characters like Midas, I think, will definitely be around. And there's even been some hints in game that maybe Midas is still out there, even though we saw him die in at the beginning of Chapter 3. Especially considering that I think his golden throne is still in the map. It's just hidden away in a supply closet by, I think it was Holly Hedges. And the whole Fortnite Mares thing, and the female Midas skin that's supposed to be coming at some point. We all thought it was going to be the crew member skin for February, but it's not. But anyway, before I go off in an even bigger tangent, G.I. Joe, yeah. Just be cool. I don't know if I'm going to get this skin, though. I'm only familiar with G.I. Joe. I know there was a cartoon that had, Sergeant Slaughter in it back in the day. I had some toys of G.I. Joe that were actually, excuse me, that had originally belonged to a cousin of mine. So I don't know that much other than it's, good army versus, terrorist group. and there was a lot of toys. And, I think that came out right before I was born. I was born at the very end of the 80s, so I'm more of the 90s kid. So I missed out on that big cash cow, you know. So while it's not for me, the character does look really cool. I would like to get him. Probably gonna skip it though. Just don't have the V-Bucks at the moment. And I don't know, man. But yeah, I love that they're like pulling from these different places for all these different characters. Like there's a GI Joe character now. There's the Terminator, the Predator, the Mandalorian, the Walking Dead characters. Who was the other one that came in? Oh, Master Chief and Kratos. I would like to see more video game based characters though. I hope we get more of those, because why create a whole, category for gaming legends, and we've only gotten two, and the third, which they sort of grandfathered in the bandit, the Psycho Bandit or whatever it's called from Borderlands, that was part of a much earlier collab. So I actually would like to see some, like I've played Borderlands a little bit. I want to like get into it more because it does look really cool, and the art style is appealing to me. But I'm surprised we haven't seen any Borderlands characters, like the established ones come in, like Mordecai, or even some Handsome Jack come in with his, I would like to see characters like that. That seems like a perfect game to cross over here, especially you're talking about bounty hunters. So I'm surprised we have not seen a Borderlands character yet. And there's still, like I said, if you do the math like we did last time on the show, there should be 4 more bounty hunters. And the focus seems to be right now on retro characters. And I guess to somewhat of an extent, Master Chief and Kratos could be considered retro characters. They've been around a little while. Not as long as, say, the G.I. Joe, characters have, or the Predator, or the Terminator. But who knows? There's a lot of characters. It's just like with Smash Brothers, there's only 3 slots left in that DLC pack, too. There's a lot of options. At least with Fortnite, there's a lot more options as to who it could be, because they're not limited by, must be a video game character. For Fortnite, they'll add anybody, and the way their story is structured, anyone could show up, and it would not be, it would not be inappropriate, because it's literally a game about all realities meshing together. So, who knows what's going to happen? It looks like a cool character. Hopefully I can find a way to get the skin. Hopefully they'll do what they did last time. And right as the previous season ended, there was they brought all the item shop skins back for everybody to get right at the end. I hope they do that again. I would hate to miss out on them. But hopefully, even if you don't, these item shop skins do sometimes come back. So who knows? Hopefully these aren't cases where they show up once and then that's it, because that would suck. But moving on, we discussed something that happened. This is a little bit old news, but Microsoft had originally announced they were going to increase the prices of Xbox Live, or whatever their new Ultimate Pass or whatever it was, but they were going to up the prices. I meant to talk about this last episode, and I forgot to add the graphic, and then I forgot to talk about it. But basically what happened, and then we'll kind of move along, there was tremendous outrage over this, and people pointed out, like, hey, we're in a pandemic. Why are you upping your prices right now? This is ridiculous. And said it's even expensive in comparison to other services. And then that got people to point out that through Xbox, like when you were playing, like it's specifically about games like Fortnite and other free-to-play games where you have to have Xbox Live to play those games if you're playing it on an Xbox. So even though it's free to play, you have to pay Microsoft in order to play them. Now, that does not apply to other services to play those same games. Even Nintendo, apparently. On the Switch, you don't have to have Nintendo Switch Online to play Fortnite or any of those free games, which surprises me, to be honest. But, hey, if Nintendo is doing better than Microsoft, then you gotta give them credit. But the outrage got them backpedaling. They backpedaled really, really quick, and they even went so far as to do away with the whole thing where you have to pay for Xbox Live in order to play free-to-play games. Now, I'm curious as to if this will apply to people who pay for Xbox Live Gold and then get their games for, because through Xbox Live Gold, you get the games with gold, and I forgot to add that graphic on here. Let me try to find that while I'm talking. With games with gold, you get free, a handful of free games every month. But the way it's always worked is you couldn't play those games if you didn't have Xbox Live. So that's kind of crappy in my opinion. That if you got the games when they were free, you should be able to keep those games. You shouldn't have, if you suddenly I can't play Xbox Live, I don't want to pay for gold anymore. But when I had it, I claimed these games for free. You should be able to keep those games if you got them for free when you were a member. Because if that worked in another, if we were talking about physical media, if you get or a physical product, if you're in some sort of subscriber club or whatever, and they send you a free gift, you don't send the free gift back when you drop out of the club for whatever reason. That's crazy. And you can only get these games while you're a member anyway. So if there was a game you really wanted for free, and it was in say June, but you didn't start your membership until July, guess what? You're out of luck. You can't get that game now. You either gotta wait for them to offer that thing for free again, or you just missed it. So it's just that's how that should go. But who knows? I figure they'll probably still make you have to have Xbox Live to play the game like that, although I don't really understand how that's any different than through the Game Pass, where you can play those games as long as you're paying for gold. Because it seems like that would be isn't that the big distinction? Through Game Pass, you can play all the games on the Game Pass. Okay. Through Xbox Live Gold, it's offering you select games for free. So there should be a distinction between, hey, these are the games you can pay as long as you're paying, but if you have gold, these are yours to keep for free. And you can play them at any time. That's how it should work to me. Now, I might be getting something wrong, too, and it wouldn't be the first time if I got something wrong. But that's just what that's just something how I felt. But anyway, this is old, and they're not gonna up their prices, and the free to play games for Microsoft will actually be free to play now. So at least they did reverse course. So next, let's talk about this, because I didn't want to forget this, and let me adjust the picture because I just grabbed it. February's games with gold. We're doing some good transactions here today, people. Let me run down the list. Hang on, let me find it again. Where did it go? Oh no. Give me a second. I had it. There it is. Let the page load. Anyway, first game, I already know this one. The first game is the remake for Resident Evil. I think it's like the 2002 version. I have this game already. I have it on the Switch. I've been trying to play it. I haven't played it in a while, to be honest. But I won't. I'm not gonna be going after this one personally. I don't see the need in getting another. I may claim it just so I can have it on this system. I won't be downloading it though. Doesn't seem like a real reason to do that. But you never know when you may want to have you never know when you might want to have it on another system. But anyway, that one will be free all month. Starting the 16th, you get Dendara. I think it's Trials of Fear. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm not sure, but I think I've seen a trailer for this game before, and it stood out. Like this seems like something I said I should keep an eye on. Like for some reason it seems familiar to me, and I'll have to go look it up and see where this one came from because I haven't done that yet. But that's like I like that about these games. Like some of these lesser known things from me. I mean, this may not even be lesser known, but I just feel like I remember seeing that name and thinking I need to keep an eye on that. But anyway, third game. This one goes free on the 1st through all of February. I believe Gears of War 5. It says Gears 5. Yeah. Now I haven't played any Gears of War games, but I would be willing to try this out. Don't have a problem with that. Going another game on the 1st that runs through the 15th of February. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. I'm probably not going to get that one. I don't care that much. Like I don't hate Indiana Jones. I guess I just don't care. I'm indifferent to Indiana Jones. But I don't know. Like I said, I might claim it just because it's free. That way, I can always just go and download it again later if I need to. But anyway, and the last one is what is it? Lost Planet 2. I think that's what the cover says. I don't know much about that one. But Lost Planet or Lost Planet 2, I can't tell from the image, and I can't tell and make it stronger. I thought or bigger. Let me see. Oh, okay, here's the actual. Yeah, it's Lost Planet 2. Now the Lost Planet one goes from February 16th to 28th. So that looks cool. That's 5 games this month instead of 4. It's usually 4. So there's an extra game. Anyway. So that's all I got on the Xbox games with gold. Here's a little fun little tidbit. Dragonball Xenoverse 2 still going. I think this is going to be a free update, but they're getting another character now. This is God of Destruction Toppo or Toppo or however you want to pronounce his name. I think the dub went with just Top, which is I think is the way his name is supposed to be said, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm surprised they didn't add base form Top, because everybody liked Top, and like this form I get, he's much more serious and big and strong, but I kind of wish they would add his base form. I like his base form. But this is, again, it's nice to see that this game is still releasing characters. Pycon's supposed to be added soon, I think. Maybe he's already even in it. I'm fine with them doing this. I do not mind them, especially if this is free DLC for people who've had this game for years now. Uh, just releasing, because Dragon Ball has millions of characters. It feels like they could just keep expanding the roster on this game and just instead of making a new one, like because to be honest, I feel like Xenoverse 2 is definitely better than Xenoverse in my opinion. The story of Xenoverse 1 and 2 are basically just rehashing. Like, you go back and you play through the game again. There's changes to the way some of the plot points fall out, but it's largely just save the Dragon Ball timeline. Like, okay, we did that twice. We don't need to do that a third time, in my opinion. So, because like the time patroller stuff is fun and it's fine for this series, but if they don't have anything else planned for it, then there's no need to make another Xenoverse game. Just keep adding characters to this one. I'm fine with that. But anyway, maybe next time I'll do a video where I discuss, some characters that I think should be added to that roster that haven't been added yet, or what they could possibly do. But anyway, moving on. Apparently, this was announced yesterday. Maybe yesterday, this morning, I can't remember. But Nintendo apparently now completely owns Astral Chain. It is theirs. That IP is now 100% Nintendo. And I hope that's a good thing. I like Astral Chain. I'm surprised we haven't seen the twins announced for Smash Brothers yet, considering how popular Astral Chain was. Like, it's a fairly easy thing to do. It's technically two characters you could add. They both named Akira. That kind of makes it easier for the Smash Brothers announcer. You don't have to do two announcer voices for them because they share the same name. But now I don't know how you could make their legions work. But I don't know. I hope maybe, like, I want to finish this game too. It's such a good looking game anyway. Like, the visual aesthetic of it is just great. But I don't know. At the very least, I feel like Nintendo's strength, while people are definitely mad at them for how they are as a business, in terms of games and gameplay, you know good and well that they can bring good gameplay and they make good games. That's why they're still around. That's why no matter how crappy their business practices are, or maybe not even business practices, exclusive. More of it being how they handle the fandom, I would say. Like, they're just, they can't help but go after fan projects and stuff like that, and people, it just leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. But people keep coming back to Nintendo for games, and it's because they make good games. But I hope this will be good. There's just no way to tell. And which is now just making me think of something else that I forgot to talk about, because that's been a big thing since, I think, yesterday. Let me see if I can find a good picture of it. We'll use this one. This is sort of new news, if you will. Before we move on and get to the big talk. Anyway, I hope Astral Chain will. I hope one Astral Chain will still be a strong title. I think it was one of their most popular titles when it came out, and I hope that I do hope we see the Akira twins or the Howard twins. I guess is more appropriately because that's their name, Akira Howard. Isn't that their names? I haven't played it in a while. I think it is Akira Howard. It works for both of them. Either way, I hope these two will end up in Smash. The big talk now, it kind of came out of nowhere, is that Sonic the Hedgehog is getting a new voice actor. Because Roger Craig Smith has announced he is no longer going to be voicing the Blue Blur, as he's called. I guess going forward, he is no longer Sonic, which is sad. And he's been Sonic, I think, what people said, for the last 10 years. And the reasons why, that's just pure speculation. Apparently, the Sonic franchise is also getting new writers or whatever. So it seems like they're going into a Sonic overhaul right now. But the Sonic's actor was also, I believe this is the same guy who played Sonic in the Wreck-It Ralph films. Sonic had a nice little cameo in the first film, and he actually appeared and spoke and interacted with Wreck-It Ralph in the second one, before the whole movie jumped shark to the internet and it became just a gigantic Disney fest. Which is sad. Like, think about that. Like, that movie starts out and sort of just goes to show you how, like, just weird it is. It's like Sonic and, like, people posted the clip, from Roger Craig Smith's performance as Sonic from that second movie. And it's sad to see, like, because you could see, like, Chun-Li in the background and Zangief as they're trying to figure out, like, because they've now got, like, Wi-Fi connection. And then after Ralph and Vanellope go to the internet, then it's Disney princesses. It's the Star Wars Stormtroopers. It's Eeyore. It's all these different Disney characters and internet stuff. And they just completely overshadow the video game characters. So you have it now, a film that exists where all of the Disney princesses exist. Most of them that were available to reprise their roles for all those princesses: Ariel, Tiana, I think was Moana in it too? Moana may have come later. But you got, like, Mulan and of course Anna and Elsa, Rapunzel, Snow White, all of them there. And in that same movie is Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, that's crazy. It's so crazy what Wreck-It Ralph became. But anyway, it's sad. Apparently he was Sonic for like 10 years. I think he's the longest tenured Sonic. But this seems like something that they just do, like, after several years of being Sonic, they cycle him out, is what it seems like, instead of just keeping him around, which is definitely the opposite of what Nintendo does with Mario, because Charles Martinet is still doing Mario to this day. Granted, I don't want to lessen the performance of Mario, because obviously if it was a bad performance, people wouldn't respond to it. And I get that people criticize, like, I've seen people, and I've even argued the criticism of well, I've argued against it, because I think that Charles Martinet's Mario is fine for what it is and for what they do with Mario in the games. Mario's just there to jump around and go woohoo and let's go. That's all Mario in the games needs. He doesn't have any spoken dialogue besides just reaction noises. So there's nothing wrong with that. But like Sonic actually does speak. So I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning would be. It's sad to see, just them decide, hey, we're replacing you now. Not that we think that you can't still do the job, but But again, that's all speculation because nobody really knows. It could just simply be business practices, and it may be something on his end that he's tied up in and he just can't do it anymore. Maybe he's decided that he's voiced the character long enough. It seems weird that you would just willingly give up a character for the sake of keeping things fresh. That seems weird, but who knows? If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. Nobody has to keep playing a character if they don't want to. But yeah, that's sad. I know a lot of people were disappointed. But as far as I know, he's not like getting out of voiceover altogether, so it's not like you're not going to ever hear him again. But who knows? This could be a sign of, a brand new future for Sonic coming up. But anyway, let's move on to the big story now that's been all over the place. The GameStop stock debacle. Not necessarily debacle, but just like the whole madness of the stock market reaction to what people were doing. So, I had to listen and read to truly understand exactly what was going on here. And because I don't get all the stock market lingo, and so when I heard that there were hedge funds who were shorting the stock for GameStop, I didn't know really what that meant. So for anyone who may be listening to this and doesn't know still, what this means is they were taking GameStop stocks and borrowing them from people who own the stocks and selling them for a price. They were selling them like, because GameStop stocks were like really, really low, because the stock market was basically predicting that the company was going to go under. The company's been doing badly, although I've heard that they supposedly did very well considering that there was a pandemic, and so I don't know what that is. So that may be something I need to look up, but that doesn't really have much to do with this story. But what was happening in the stock market is that the hedge funds were shorting the stock, which means they were borrowing it from whoever owned it and selling it on their behalf in anticipation that the stock's value was going to drop, I guess, in the near future, or at least at some point in the future. So they were doing this left and right. And apparently they even sold more stocks than even existed for the company, which is how much they were expecting the company to fail. But the problem is also that by selling the stocks like that, in mass like that, and with so much certainty that they're expecting the company to fail, is simultaneously like when a company treats, or when the hedge funds treat a company that way, it scares off potential investors from investing. So it's effectively like a self-fulfilling prophecy where they short the stocks because they think the company's going to go under, but by shorting the stocks, they're helping the company go under. So what it is they're trying to force GameStop out of business so that when the stock prices do fall, they can buy those stocks back at a cheaper price and then give the stocks back to whoever it was originally owned them, and then they make some money. So they're literally profiting off of businesses dying. And it's a real scummy practice, but nobody's ever cared about it because it's rich people doing it. And we all know that the rich can get away with anything. It's the poor's. It's the poor folks, regular everyday folks that can't get away with stuff like that, as you've seen from the reaction to what happened on Reddit, where a bunch of random people who keep up with stuff like this, noticed that the GameStop stocks were getting shorted, and by like a ridiculous. I think they said they were shorting them by like 140% less than they were actually worth. And people were like, that is insane. And so a bunch of people on the Wall Street Reddit, I can't remember, Wall Street Bets Reddit or whatever it's called, decided, hey, they think all these billionaires are counting on GameStop to go out of business because it'll make them money. What if we all invest in GameStop and we all buy the stocks now while they're still cheap, but still, worth something? They're super cheap, but still worth a little bit. We all buy the stocks all at once together, and it will, and the price of the stocks, then the value will skyrocket. And when that happens, the hedge funds who bought them at such low prices, well, they got to buy them back because they didn't own the stock in the first place. So they'll have to buy them back at some point. And if they do, if the price shoots up that fast, then it will literally bankrupt the hedge funds. Now, these are like people with billions of dollars, doing all these shortings and all this stuff. And like within a day or two, the one that was doing this to GameStop was down. It drove them to bankruptcy. And there was a demand like, hey, we need some government, right? The government needs to send these hedge funds money to keep them from going bankrupt because, we didn't expect regular people to suddenly invest in a company that we all were trying to help kill. And then that led to a chain reaction which got people investing in like what is it, the movie theater, AME or AMC, whichever. I think it's AMC. I may be wrong. Bed Bath & Beyond and some others. Nokia, I think. There was a whole list of like, I guess, fairly cheap stocks that people were just investing in, and the prices started shooting up. I can't remember what the total was, but at one point GameStop was the most valuable stock. And it's insane because people do not like GameStop. They just don't. Now, I'm in the camp that I actually like the store. I like going to the store. That the business practices are crap. And I've heard the nightmare tales about how employees are treated and things like that. And it's not good news, but in terms of like having merchandise and being able to go in and get a game that you're looking for, I usually have very good luck in GameStop. I've been to other places where they've advertised a game to be out the day that it's supposed to be out. You go in there and ask them, hey, do you have this game? And they say, no, we don't have it yet. And I'm like, why? You have a display out saying this game comes out on X date. Well, it's X date. Why do you not have the game? So, and which I figure that's just somebody who didn't want to work, didn't want to be bothered with having to go check in the back, make sure they've got the merchandise they're supposed to have. But because I've worked in stores, big stores, and they've got stuff in the back. But anyway, especially you're talking about like these big retailers or big store chains, like They get stuff ahead of time. Like, that's how they have sales. Like, when stores don't get their Christmas freight at Christmas time. No, they get it ahead of time. They get it during Thanksgiving. Sometimes they even start getting it in Halloween. It's because they have to have time to get ready to get it on the shelf for you to buy. But anyway, that's getting off topic. But the frenzy of seeing people who are so used to screwing people in the system. Now, somebody figured out how to play the game according to the rules that you set, but now they want to change the rules. Now they don't want folks on Reddit to be able to, en masse, go buy stocks for a company that they think they would like to see make a rebound. Now that's got to be changed. Now we got to make sure only the good people, only the right people are investing in the stock market. The right way, too. So, yeah. That's how corrupt all that is. Any body who, and like, I even started wondering, like, could there potentially be a stock worth investing in that people are trying to do the same thing too, try to get in on it real quick, because it's a chance to make money. Because they're going to. They're going to regulate it, because you're seeing all these people are going on TV now. These billionaires are going on TV and freaking out. They're losing money. The billionaires are losing money. And that's unacceptable. How is a person with $2 billion gonna ever survive with just $1 billion? How? It's just sad. It's sad that just some everyday people, and some of them aren't everyday. I'm more than sure that some of these guys, like Elon Musk, jumped in like, yeah, you show them. And I'm like, oh, shut up, dude. You probably bought a bunch of shares and stuff just to keep it safe for your buddies. But yeah, like, that's the thing, is like, also, you see people like good old, faithful capitalist, the Ben Shapiro, gets up on Twitter and talks about how there's a right way and a wrong way to do stuff, and completely oh, this is not right. It's not right to manipulate the market like this. I'm like, how is it manipulating the market? It's people buying stocks. That's what the market's for. Like, you don't want people like these are the same people tell you, like, you can't tell me what to do with my money. I'll do with my money whatever I want to do with it. And then other people do that. The poor people do that. Like, hey, I'm going to take my money and invest in GameStop just to prove a point. And then like, oh, well, wait a second. That's not how you're supposed to do this. Why? Because it screws over the rich people. Although it's not even necessarily screwing over. It's just outplaying somebody in the long game. Maybe not the long game, but it's a group of people figured out how to stick it to these billionaire hedge fund people, and it worked. Now they'll probably undo it all. There's the whole thing with the Robinhood app and everything, trying to keep people from being able to buy stocks, but you can only sell them. They've reversed that, although they may have banned it by now. It seems to be going back and forth between them trying to figure out what to do, because if they don't ban people, then these billionaires are going to be out, billions of dollars, literally. And it's going to be multiple hedge funds that have to file for bankruptcy. If they don't allow people to trade, then you're kind of discriminating against people. And creating special sets of rules to where only certain people are allowed to invest in the stock market, which is completely against this whole idea of capitalism and fair trade and all this crap in the free market that all these people like swear to and believe should be what runs our country, instead of, like they think money can, like these are people who literally believe that money should run the country, and that's insane. But yeah, all these people talking about, hey, money, like it's a free market. See how quick they all got mad when a bunch of regular people started to get involved with the free market. But anyway, so yeah, who knows? I haven't checked it this morning. I assume the hype is dying down. Like the crying on TV, all these rich people are like almost in tears. Literally, that some of them are hysterical. They're going on TV and swearing, and it's now to the point to where it's becoming a meme, to where people are just the fake outrage. Well, no, I won't say it's fake outrage, because these billionaires are literally just furious that poor folks figured out how to make some money in the same manner. Like it's poor folks taking money from rich folks, and they don't like it. They can't stand it. But who knows? If it was truly fair, then all these stocks and all this stuff, they would not. They just have to let it go. You took a gamble, which is literally what it is. I saw people saying like the stock market's not gambling. Yeah, it is. If you're buying stocks in anticipation that they're going to go down in value, or so. Like, if you're borrowing stocks to sell on somebody else's behalf so you can profit off of it, you can buy it back later and give the stock back, and then you've made some money, then that is a gamble you're taking. And they took the gamble that GameStop was going to go out of business and the stocks were going to be incredibly cheap. They did not anticipate people rallying together like that. And guess what? That's gambling. Just because you didn't expect something completely wild doesn't mean that you should be reimbursed for it. It's the same thing that happens every single time. Every single time a bunch of rich people blow money, they're just given more money back. It's what happened in the Great Recession. Like the global economy suffered, and the people responsible for that they got bailed out. Free money. Lost tons of money and were given free money as a reward, basically. So yeah, this was less about GameStop specifically and more about just what the stocks had to do, but it's still funny. I would like to think that maybe with GameStop being in the public eye this much now, if the company can make a comeback from this, that they do take all this energy. If the company actually does like see a like a uptick in profit or whatever, if they can turn it into a positive, I hope they will, because I like the whole. There was a thing a while back where the rumor was they wanted to make these bigger GameStops into like hangout places, like lounges, and like I think that there's like places like this already in like airports where there's like a literal Nintendo area where you can stop and go play like I guess demos on a Switch or whatever. And I thought that's cool. That's what we kind of need. Like GameStop apparently was having trouble like selling some merch, and I get that there's the issue with gaming becoming all digital now, especially we're in the pandemic. But before the pandemic, the idea was that some of these GameStop stores were going to be turned into lounges too, for people to come hang out and play together. And that's a really good idea. And I wish that, hopefully with these vaccines coming out and maybe soon people will be able to get back to a semi-regular, normal lifestyle again, that plan can happen. But I would hate to see GameStop go out of business as a gamer, because I do like GameStop. That doesn't. I like GameStop as a place to shop, as a place where I buy stuff. But they've got to fix. They got to fix the inside problems, because the shopping thing, the merch stuff, that's outside problem. That's that's not the important issue. It's important, but it's not as important as treating people fairly. Like, and like I've seen people talk about, like, you go buy a $60 game, you don't really like it that much. You play it for a day or two, and then you don't like it. You take it back. You're like, hey, I'd like to turn this back in. I just didn't like it that much. And they charge you. They say, okay, well, we'll buy it back for you from you for $5. Like, I just bought this 2 days ago for $60. Yeah, we're only giving you $5 though. Like, that's wrong. Like, even if you want to make the argument, at least like give people half their money back. Like, that should, like, at the very least, give people half. But yeah, anyway, but that's been interesting to watch. Hilarious to watch incredibly rich people who have literally, like, the shorting the stocks is far more underhanded and than just a group of people deciding to buy stocks together. Like, there's nothing underhanded about that at all. Like you could like the argument that, oh, well, these people just they coordinated this. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's still fundamentally just a bunch of people bought stocks in a company at the same time. That is, the value went up. Why? Because just a bunch of people bought stocks together. That's how that works. That's what it's supposed to do. The real dirty behavior is borrowing stocks you don't own and predicting / forcing their value to go down by selling them for less than what they're worth. And so, or anticipating that that's what's going to happen. So that, yeah, what they were able to get away with for years and years was fine and dandy. But what regular people did was just uncalled for. That's their stance. And their stance is, don't let poor people have money. And that's all I can really say about that. But anyway, I guess we'll see how that wraps up. There's already been tremendous calls for like all these people who for so long said, like, yeah, we don't need regulation. Suddenly this happens. They're like, yeah, I think it's time we need some regulation to keep these poor people out of the stock market. As predictable as you could possibly be. But hey, that's all I got today. Hope you enjoyed listening to me rant a little bit. And maybe some good stuff will come. So like and subscribe. Share with anybody you think would be interested in this. Go watch my Deadpool Gangnam Style music video that I made, because they added that emote to the item shop recently and I had to buy it. And we will see you for the next episode of The Bad Show. Until then, later.